Hey there, friend! Welcome back to the Closing Chapters podcast, where every mission has a story. I'm feeling a little anxious. I don't have anything working right now, and it's hitting me hard. All right? And they will do what they need to do, and you're going to reciprocate that and say, you got this. Hey friends, welcome back. Can you believe that we are well on our way into 2026? I cannot believe it. Also, this is a cool year. This year marks a couple of really big milestones in my world. I have my 10-year anniversary with my husband in April, which is amazing. And then promptly, May 1st will be my 10-year anniversary for being in real estate. I started in May of 2016 in Sumter, South Carolina. And I am still licensed in South Carolina to this day, and also North Carolina and Tennessee. And that is due to military life. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, then you should listen to some of these podcasts, because I talk all about the different transitions and how I've shifted my business around and kept it alive for almost 10 years now, even through military life. So anyhow, today we are going to talk about kind of keeping it alive. So the beginning of the year tends to be a little dull, shall we say. There may not be as much movement, and it is very common that by the end of January into the beginning of February, agents are getting restless, they're getting nervous, and they are like, oh my gosh, when am I going to have my next closing? And they're on the fritz. Now, is that productive? Is it productive to look at your pipeline, to be in your CRM and say, oh my gosh, I don't know when my next closing is? Does that serve you in your business? Probably not. So let's talk about some of the things that we could do that will serve our business and help us through this period where our natural inclination is to go into freak out mode just a little bit and say, hey, I don't know where my business is coming from. What have I done wrong? Why don't I have things closing right now? So let's talk about the natural progression of housing, right? And one of the biggest things that I like to remind people is that it takes money to buy a house. When is the one time a year that most people tend to get money in their hands that they don't normally have? If you guessed tax season, you would be right, my friends. And when do we start doing our tax returns and receiving that money? Anywhere between February and mid-April. So it's a pretty good guarantee that by mid-April, the beginning of May, we are going to get an uptick in our business, because all of a sudden, all of these money, like people don't typically have, has appeared. The money gods have spoken and said, it is time for you to buy a house or buy a car. You better buy a house. It's the better investment, right? At least that's what we're saying in the realtor chair. So anyhow, it is natural that this time of the year is a little bit slow. It is not a normal progression for people to want to move during the cold, move when they don't have money, unless they have a reason. It doesn't mean all movement has stopped. That is certainly not the case. I have a closing on the books for the end of January, but that's because it's a build job, right? So we started it a couple months ago, back in the summer, and it's wrapping up. So it is not to say like crickets all the way around, but it's just not our normal hubbub where we're busy. And especially coming out of the holiday season, when we are so used to being crazy and going sideways every which way, getting to all the parties, getting to all the events, trying to throw client events, because it is like such a perfect opportunity just to love on our people. And we have gone. And all of a sudden we took a week off from Christmas to New Year's, and now we're getting back into our business and going, oh my, this doesn't feel good. So when you hit that moment where you say, oh my, this doesn't feel good, what I want you to do is pick up your phone, and I want you to send a message to your favorite realtor friend. And you're going to say, Hey bud, how's your pipeline looking? I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Do you have any words of wisdom? Talk me off the ledge. Okay? Because one, we deserve to support each other. So, there's someone that wants you to succeed, and you know who that person is. So you need to reach out to that person, your partner in crime in real estate, and just say, hey, I need a pep talk. Give me a little bit of love. I'm feeling a little anxious. I don't have anything working right now, and it's hitting me hard. All right? And they will do what they need to do. And you're going to reciprocate that and say, you got this. And then part two is, what can we do productive in our business? Right? It's great to talk to friends and get a little bit of catch up and see how things are going and get that pep talk that we need. But we can be working on our business instead of being on the fritz. And it's super common that we get busy and we don't have the opportunity to work on our business, or we don't prioritize it like we should consistently. And I'm not going to say that's okay, because it's something that's really important to our business. However, it's okay that we're in this place and now we get to do something with it. So what I'm going to tell you is that this is the opportunity to check in. Whether that is with your sphere, with your agents, with your past clients, check in. Oh, by the way, do you have a list of everybody that may be moving this year? If you don't, then you need to be looking at everybody that bought the past 2 to 4 years. Because if you were in military land like me, 2 to 4 year cycle is pretty traditional, depending on whether they are an officer, warrant officer, or enlisted, right? Somewhere in that time frame is typical, 2 to 4 years. So if you know whether they're an officer or not, then that kind of helps narrow that down even more to say, hey, I know you're coming up on 2 years here. How's everything feeling? Do you think you're going to be making a shift within the installation so that you can stay here longer? Do you have orders somewhere else, right? This is a great opportunity just to say, listen, I know orders are coming down the hatch and it's about to feel chaotic, and I want you to know that I'm here, and don't forget about me, because I am your connection. I can help you here, and I can help you anywhere else you're going, right? I will make that connection and make sure that you're taken care of. So this is a wonderful opportunity before military families get in that craze of all of a sudden I've got orders and I'm on go, go, go mode, and my spouse is Facebooking away trying to find the next place for us to go and trying to find the next connections. Stay ahead of it. This is a great opportunity to reach out to all of your military clientele and just say, hey, I know we're about to get into this busy season. I know orders are starting to come out the hatch. If you or anybody you know might be making a shift this year, please think of me. Remember, I would love to make a connection wherever you guys are going, because I have great partners everywhere, right? So remind them of that. That is super important. By the way, referral partners. Do you have great referral partners everywhere? We say it, but sometimes we have to go hunting. And this is the time. If you have an ideal list of bases that your people tend to kind of go to, which if you don't know about that, you need to be following me on Elevate Freedom Training, because we can identify that pretty easily. And it is an amazing way to backtrack and source out our referral partners. So you need to take this time while it is a little bit quieter and reach out to all of your agent referral partners and make sure, are they still there? Because how many of our agent referral partners are just like me, where we might actually be involved in the military world in some facet, whether we're active duty, a spouse, or even a veteran. And that could have caused us to move or shift or change to some degree, right? So make sure your people are still there and that's what they're still doing. And then also start filling your gaps, right? So we want to make sure that we have, 2 to 3 partners within an area. And there's a couple of different ways that we can kind of subdivide this down. I believe in niching down and then niching down even further. And once again, we talk a lot about that in the Elevate Freedom Training side of the world. So if you are not following me on Instagram for Elevate Freedom Training, do that. Get on my mailing list. If you go to elevatefreedomtraining.com, you will have a lot of information there. There's my framework there for free at your access to your little fingertips. But the long and short is that we can really be setting a foundation and backtracking and making sure that we have ourselves set up so that way when it's time to go, we are sitting on green. And we are going to be reaching out to our referral partners. We're going to be loving on them a little bit and just letting them know that they are still in our book of business, and we are looking forward to the opportunity to be able to share business with them this year and to kind of say, am I the same? Like, you know, do you have me on speed dial? Because if you don't, you need to, right? I've got you. So that is a great resource. So we're talking to all of our military clientele and saying, hey, if you or anybody you know might be shifting this year, please think of me. And I'm reaching out before it gets busy. I know you may not have orders in hand right now, but I know that they might be coming soon. So I just want to remind you that I'm here to support you near and far, okay? And then we're reaching out to our referral partners, aka agents at other local not local, but other installations that feed into our local installation. So we're going to reach out to them and say, hey, are you still my guy? Are you still at Fort Hood? Are you still at Langley Air Force Base? Are you still at Fort Carson? And make sure that they are our top referral partners that we have sitting on go. And also, when you're having that conversation with them, ask them if they have a specialty. So for instance, we were at Shaw Air Force Base for 8 years, and my husband was CE, Civil Engineering Squadron. So I knew and learned a lot about the CE squadron. I knew what gates they were accessing most of the time. I knew what their typical hours were, what units fell within their squadron, and I got the opportunity to help a lot of them go to their events, be a key spouse for their unit. So I was able to really help support them. And that meant that I could serve those clients well because I knew their life a little bit on a deeper level, right? Now, I have also had the great privilege of working with several of the MQ-9 Reaper pilots in the squadron. So they were on the total opposite end of the world. Shaw Air Force Base is not that big if you didn't know or haven't been there, but they are polar opposite ends. 2 different gates, 2 different locations. The whole flight line is between them. They are on what we would consider like the Army world, right? So, because there is an Army headquarters on Shaw Air Force Base, if you didn't know that. But I had the opportunity to work with them. So it was a great opportunity for me once again to reverse engineer what their expectations should be, what gate they're going to go to, you know, what's around there, what is their priority, timing wise, you know, and what was going to suit them best. So those 2 pools of clients I could serve really, really well. I did not get an opportunity to work with a lot of medical or admin folks or people at 3rd Army. I had one client at 3rd Army, which I could serve well because I still had that side of the base and understood it very well. But I also didn't work with a lot of the pilots for like the fighter jets, for the F-16s. So I would love to know when I'm talking to other referral partners, have you had a lot of clients that were with the MQ-9 squadron at your local installation? Because if so, then I'm going to really like prioritize sending my MQ-9 folks to you, right? Versus if you've never worked with an MQ-9 guy, but you work with F-16 pilots all the time, and if I have the opportunity to pass a pilot along to you, then fantastic, right? So it's really good to have people that have a specialty within the installation, because there really is like so many different worlds colliding amongst one installation. So to have a little bit of insight and comfort that you can offer to your clients, that's really cool and important. And you can really put your clients at ease when they know that you understand their world on a deeper level. So that is big step number 2 that I would be working on. And step number 3 is what we all kind of know but kind of forget, is that this is a wonderful time for us to be doing a little bit of research on properties. We all know that the properties we sold probably have appreciated. And we all know that people are going to sell in the future. And we don't always know what their plans are, what's happening in their world, but it's not a bad idea to give them a nice little update and just say, hey, I was doing a little bit of research, and I just wanted to let you know, as of the end of 2025, this is kind of where we're sitting on your property. I don't know if you have an opportunity to be moving this year or if, you know, that's crossed your mind, but in case you're wondering, here you go. Here's some information. If you want to dive a little bit deeper, let's hop on a call and talk about this. And I would be very clear to say, like, hey, this is a very general wag. It's not a dive deep like I would do if I were listing your property, but I just want to give you a general idea of where you're sitting at, because there are a lot of people that have that anticipation or don't know what's going on in their world, and there's like a big question mark. So not picking up the phone and calling anyone and getting ready for anything yet, but they're curious, right? And that's when they start deep diving down the Zillow pathway and trying to find any information they can online, seeing what their tax value is, anything to give them a little bit of solidity of where they stand. And we can be providing that, and they can expect that from us, which might be pretty darn cool, just to say, hey, you know, I'm going to check in throughout the year with just like basic fun, hey, how are you stuff. But there's going to be like this one time at the beginning of the year that I'm going to really say, like, this is business time. You know, I want you to know where your asset lies, because when you purchase a home, it is an asset. It is a tool. Yes, it's your home in the meantime, but the second that you need to sell it, it is now an asset, and it is a product on a shelf. So those are the 3 things that I would be doing if I were you and I was a little bit restless and trying to figure out what to do to get my year started.
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for being here and listening in on this episode of Closing Chapters with me. I truly enjoy putting this content together, and I hope that you enjoy it too. If so, could you like, subscribe, and share this episode with somebody you know that will enjoy it just as much as you did? Thank you so much.